The first lionfish sighting was found in South Florida in 1985. In 1992 was when researchers think that about 6 lionfish were released into the South Florida area. And in 2009 was when we really started to see a population increase in Biscayne National Park. Because research shows that lionfish prey on juvenile species that are ecologically important as well as commercially important. In 2010, Biscayne National Park put a lionfish management plan in place, and since then, researchers in the Resource Management Department have been helping to eradicate the species. Lionfish are incredibly beautiful species found in the Indo-Pacific. They're extremely popular in the aquarium trade. However, they're an invasive species in South Florida. While still beautiful, they have no natural predators because they have not evolved with the rest of the species here. In other words, they're invasive. And that is why Biscayne National Park is taking part in the eradication. So when we look for lionfish, we tend to look at habitat much like this area right here. We like areas with overhangs, such as this. We can usually find lionfish in these areas hung upside down or kind of tucked back. And we call these spurs and grooves, or areas of relief. Due to the fact that lionfish have venomous spines surrounding their body, it's important in the lionfish removal process that we keep them as far away from us as possible. In order to do this and use as many precautions as we can, we use lionfish catch bags, where we place the lionfish caught into a bag, and at the end of the dive, keep them as far away as possible. As divers, it's very important for us to take safety stops before we ascend completely to the surface. So in order to keep these lionfish away from us, we use float bags, where we inject air from our tanks into that bag and float the lionfish to the surface, where the support boat will then go ahead and pick it up.
So today we went on 4 different dives between 60 and 80 feet, and we've collected about 20 fish total from the reef just today. This is a pretty typical amount of fish. The lionfish don't really have a mating season or anything like that. They can reproduce year-round, and they reproduce several times a month. So we usually find about this many fish, if not more, on a daily removal effort. And we do this year-round. So this kind of gives you a good idea as to how many fish really are out there on the reef. This program has been going on for 5 years now. So since we started about 5 years ago, we've removed and measured over 4,000 lionfish. So in addition to just going out and killing the fish and trying to eradicate them from a park's reefs, we also try to do as much research as we can. So we don't really let any fish go to waste. We make sure that we take measurements on every single one of them and that they're easily accessible for our researchers as well as outside researchers to come in and look at what they're trying to find. Resource management isn't the only department that does work with lionfish in Biscayne National Park. The interpretation department also works really, really closely with resource management by going out to local schools, local dive shops, and other workshops around the area to let the public know about this invasion by the lionfish. And they stress the importance of telling local restaurants to put them on the menu, and they tell them different ways that the public can go out, like proper safe handling techniques using the pole spears that we use at the park, as well as how to bag them and fillet them themselves.
One of the most important things that people don't really understand is that lionfish meat is delicious and is actually not poisonous. A common misconception is that because of the venomous spines along their bodies, people think that the meat is not good to eat. However, lionfish are venomous and not poisonous, and that means that their meat is safe. There's no poison contained in the meat. It's just within the spines that are removed. The park is doing a lot of outreach to talk to local restaurants as well as consumers to let people know that lionfish is a great fish to eat and should be demanded on more menus in the area.